The origins of 3D printing in rapid prototyping were founded on the principles of industrial prototyping as a means of speeding up the earliest stage of product development. Prototyping is still probably the largest application of 3D printing. The developments and improvements of the process and the materials since the emergence of 3D printing for prototyping saw the processes being taken up for applications further down the product development process chain. Tooling and casting applications were developed utilizing the advantages of the different processes. Again, these applications are increasingly being used and adopted across industrial sectors. Similarly, for final manufacturing operations, the improvements are continuing to facilitate uptake. In terms of the industrial vertical market that are benefiting greatly from industrial 3D printing across all of these broad spectrum applications, we are going to make a basic breakdown of major 3D printing applications. First being the medical sector. The medical sector is viewed as an early adopter of 3D printing. It's also a sector with huge potential for growth due to the customization and personalization capabilities of the technology and the ability to improve people's lives as the process improves and materials are developed that meet medical grade standards. 3D printing technologies are being used for a host of different applications. In addition to making prototypes to support new product development for the medical and dental industries, the technology is also utilized to make patterns for the downstream metal casting of dental crowns and in the manufacture of tools over which plastic is being vacuum formed to make dental aligners. The technology is being used to directly manufacture both stock items such as hip and knee implants and bespoke patient-specific products such as hearing aids, orthotic insoles for shoes, personalized prosthetics and one-off implants for patients suffering from diseases such as osteoarthritis, osteoporosis and cancer. 3D printed surgical guides for specific operations are also an emerging application that is aiding surgeons in their work and patients in their recovery. Technology is also being developed for the 3D printing of skin, bone, tissue, pharmaceuticals, and even human organs. However, these technologies remain largely decades away from commercialization. Like the medical sector, the aerospace sector was an early adopter of 3D printing technologies in the earliest form for product development and prototyping. Another general early adopter of rapid prototyping technology was the automotive sector. Many automotive companies, particularly Formula One, have followed a similar trajectory to the aerospace companies, not only using the technologies for prototyping applications, but also for developing and adapting their manufacturing processes to incorporate the benefits of improved materials and end results for automotive parts. Many automotive companies are now also looking at the potential of 3D printing to fulfill after sales functions in terms of production of spare parts. Now, for the jewelry sector, 3D printing has proved to be particularly disruptive. Traditionally, the design and manufacturing process for jewelry has always required high levels of expertise and knowledge involving specific disciplines. Each of these disciplines evolved over many years and each required technical knowledge. Just one example is investment casting, the origin of which can be traced back more than 4,000 years. There is a great deal of interest and uptake based on how 3D printing can and will contribute to the further development of this industry. Artists and sculptors are engaging with 3D printing in myriad of different ways to explore form and function in ways previously impossible. Whether purely to find a new original expression or to learn from old masters, this is a highly charged sector that is increasingly finding new ways of working with 3D printing and introducing the results to the world. There are numerous artists that have now made a name for themselves for working specifically with 3D modeling, 3D scanning, and 3D printing technologies. Architectural models have long been a staple application of 3D printing processes for producing accurate demonstration models of an architect's vision. 3D printing offers a relatively fast, easy, and economically viable method of producing detailed models directly from 3D CAD, BIM, or other digital data that architects use. Many successful architectural firms now commonly use 3D printing as a critical part of their workflow for increased innovation and improved communication. More recently, some visionary architects are looking to 3D printing as a direct construction method. Research is being conducted at a number of organizations on this front. 3D printing houses is not a dream anymore. 3D printing accessories, including shoes, headpieces, hats, and bags, have all made their way onto the global catwalks. And some even more visionary fashion designers have demonstrated the capabilities of the technology for haute couture. Dresses, capes, full-length gowns have debuted at different fashion venues around the world. Iris Van Herpen should get a special mention as the leading pioneer in this sector. She has produced a number of collections modeled on the catwalks of Paris and Milan that incorporated 3D printing to blow up the normal rules that no longer apply to fashion design. Many have followed and continue to follow in her footsteps. Although a latecomer to 3D printing, food is one emerging application that is getting people very excited and has the potential to truly take the technology into the mainstream. 3D printing is emerging as a new way of preparing and presenting food. Initial forays into 3D printing food were with chocolate and sugar, and these developments have continued with specific 3D printers hitting the market. Some other early experiments with food include the 3D printing of meat at the cellular protein level. More recently, Pasta is another food group that is being researched for 3D printing food material. For 3D printing, the holy grail for 3D printing vendors is undoubtedly consumer 3D printing. There is a widespread debate as to whether this is a feasible prospect in future. Currently, consumer uptake is low due to the accessibility and application issues that exist with entry-level machines. There is headway being made in this direction by the larger 3D printing companies such as 3D Systems and MakerBot as they try to make the 3D printing process and the ancillary components like software, digital contents, and materials more accessible and user friendly.